village is under attack! West Harbor is under attack! You're safe! Grab a weapon. We need to help defend the village.
G'day gamers, we are back with more of our playthrough of Neverwinter Nights 2, the original campaign, as a Orc Paladin. When last we left off, we had finished the tutorial mission, and this is the start of Chapter 1. The village is under attack. I can get much more information about what's going on, but it's under attack. What more do we need to know? Right. We need to grab our gear out of the chest. It is giving us a flail, a light shield, a short bow, some arrows, and a cure light wounds potion. Most of which we don't really want, but we are going to use the flail and the shield, despite the fact that we are going to ditch that for a longsword and shield as soon as we can, and then after that we will grab a two-handed sword, which shouldn't be too long. This is the pork that we were given by the guy who we did the pig thing for. Those are the extra scrolls that we got from the magic competition. This is the harvest cup. Now, when we look at that, that allows us to use cure light wounds twice per day. I think that's forever, so we might just keep that, and we'll put it down there on the hotbar. We're going to put the healing potion on the hotbar. The pork jerky is also something that will heal us only once, though, but so we'll put that down on the bar. I'm putting it over to the side a little bit there because I want to, but because it's going to be used just once and then we're going to get rid of it. If we use it at all, we might actually just end up selling it. The harvest cloak gives us a bonus to charisma. Great. That is one thing that we need as a paladin, so that is very nice. We're going to end up selling those. We're going to sell the bow and arrows, or I would end up giving them to someone else, but I don't know if I want to carry them around that long. We shall see. Right. Now, you know what? I am not... You can go into the bedroom there and there's a chest. This is your father's bedroom, your foster father's bedroom. We can go in there and raid that chest. I'm not going to. I think I'm going to make a thing in this playthrough of only raiding the bodies of enemies. Or, like, chests. I'm in neutral environments, I'm not going to just raid every container that's around. Okay, combat time. Oh no! Excuse me a moment while I fix this. This has just crashed. Okay, what was a couple of minutes for me is a couple of milliseconds for you, but we're back. Before we go forward into this combat, there's one other thing I wanted to do, which I realized I had forgotten, and that is there's actually another ability I have here. I could put power attack down on the bar to turn it on and off. I don't think I'll ever use it. I love cleave. I don't like power attack. We got lay on hands, which allows us to heal. Yeah, so every now and then, like, these abilities should be going on the bar automatically. Smite Evil went automatically on the bar, but sometimes, I don't know, they don't seem to. So, yeah. Every now and then, check and see if you've got new feats that you can drag down and use, is my advice. Combat again. All right. Alright, a club +1, short sword and a healing kit. and a quarterstaff. I could give the quarterstaff to Amy. There's no point. If you've played this before, you know why.
There you are. I saw some of those creatures enter your house, and it is good to see you safe. I don't know where these beasts came from, but we need every sword at the southern bridge. More of these creatures are on the way, and in greater numbers. Georg is trying to gather the militia, but I fear he will not be able to marshal a defense in time, and without help, this village will fall.
On my way.
Head south along the road. I will stay here and look for the wounded, then join you. Georg should be at the bridge. Join him quickly. He will no doubt have orders for you. But before you go, take this blessing from Lathander, all of you. If you are wounded or need another blessing in the fight ahead, simply return and speak to me.
Okay, let's start taking on the Grey Dwarves. Go. Looks like we got that entire group down there. Let's head down to this group. Here we go. Let's talk to Georg.
There's been no sign of your father, and I feared you'd been killed as well. I have no idea where these creatures came from or what they want, but the ones loose in the village are only the first wave. More are coming. A lot more. If we're going to stop them, we need someone to rally the militia and meet them head on.
Where are they?
The militia is likely disorganized and scattered about town. You may have met some on your way here. Gather a half-dozen men or so. That's the most we can hope for. Now go. When you've gathered everyone you can, meet me at the wheat field, south and west of here.
We'd better search the town, try to gather who we can, and I hope we can find enough still alive.
Alrighty. Let's loot these remains. Not that there's anything overly useful except for coin here. Ah, look, Ward Mossfield, one of the Mossfield brothers. You can, as you can see, there's some pretty bad options here. You can slit his throat. Come to gloat. No, we are here to help you. Haven't seen your brother. He's somewhere in the village, I'm sure. We're going to lay hands on him to stop his bleeding. Now, if you aren't a healer of some sort, I'm assuming if you're a cleric, it gives you another option here as well. But if you aren't a healer of some sort, there's an option here. This one here. Let me go and find Brother Mering. He may help. And Brother Mering gives you these moss, I think it is, some herbs that you can come back and give to him to stop the bleeding. But we'll just use our lay on hands, which actually didn't use that ability. We still have the one down there, which means we can still use that once today or once before we rest. I am not going to ask. You could come back up here and talk to the brother and ask him, and he will give you that moss. Problem is you can't sell the moss. All you can do is drop it again later. I don't want to have to worry about throwing it out of my inventory because it doesn't actually, it's not a proper healing thing. It's only used for this little tiny interaction, and that is it. So it's kind of pointless. Was that? Yeah, that killed the Grey Dwarf. Good. Oh, damn it. He dazed me with that spell. Got to wait for the daze to wear off. We actually need to heal. That daze has just weared off. We can probably get through this fight without healing. Come Come here, you. There we go. Is that all of them? It feels like all of them. Let's talk to this guy. He's one of the 5 that we need to talk to. There's actually more than 5 around, so you don't actually have a problem doing it. Let's just... Oh. I wanted to rest before we did this interaction. We're too far away.
Master, just hold on. We can help.
So the whelp seeks to test herself. How pathetic.
Blast it! The rest of you, stay where you are.
I shall waste no more time on this pitiful village. It is not here.
Alrighty. Should be able to get through this fight without too much of a hassle. Oh, except that's happening. Let's lay on hands on myself. That didn't do a hell of a lot. I might eat the pork jerky too. Yeah, that didn't help a lot either, but... I have never...
The stupid girl! I told her to stay out of it. There's more to do. Georg and the militia are holding our attackers at bay on the Starling farm. We must hurry before the tide turns. If only I had more time to gather equipment from my home. If you make your way there, you may find some magical and alchemical equipment of use. It's to the north. Now go!
Alright. Yeah, this is... I'm even poisoned. I'm surprised I'm still alive. I can't rest because there are enemies nearby. Let's talk to you. Lay hands on you, get you back into the fight. Oh, I'm heavily encumbered. What? That's to do with the poisoning. That's the secondary damage from the poison. Good. Let's rest, see if the poison damage goes away. Beautiful, it did. Alright, I said I wasn't going to loot everything. Actually, let's do a quick save. We need to come and talk to this guy back here for a start.
Huh? Get away! Didn't you see those creatures out there? They're killing everyone!
Georg needs you.
You came to drag me out there to die? Not on your life. I'm staying right here.
I'm going to use diplomacy, even though I know my skill in it is not great. Let's just give it a try.
I'm not going.
Okay, we failed.
Dead anyway. I'm not joining the corpses. If you need someone to die with you, then go find someone else.
Okay, it doesn't feel like any of the other options are actually lawful good, so I'm going to just leave him there. He doesn't want to fight, he doesn't want to fight. Let's go into... This is Tarnis's house. He told us we could go in there to get some alchemical stuff. So even though I said I wasn't going to loot things, he's basically given us permission to do that, so let's do that. Now, that cabinet is trapped. Yeah, let's just... Right. All good. Can't wait to get a decent weapon. I hate this flail. And I don't really know why, I just do. Let's... Oh, critical hit though, and a critical hit with a flail is very nice because I think it does triple damage. Let's just have a look. Oh no, it only does 2 times damage. Well, that's annoying. Why would you ever use... Yeah. I mean, if you're trying to maximize damage, you'd never use a flail. Long swords or great swords are a good option. We need to talk to this guy who's near death as well. We can lay hands on him. That's 4 out of the 5 people we need to recruit. There will be a couple more over here. There was a fight over here, but it's all done. Let's talk to Webb. There we go. And we can now talk to Georg.
All right, militia.
If I wanted a longsword, I could actually take the longsword off Bevel and swap it out. Give him the flail, but ultimately I want a two-handed sword. I want a great sword. I don't want a long sword, which is single-handed. That guy's already dead. Holy water will come in use later on, not now. There's no undead around, but let's get into the battle. Actually, these guys need more help. What are you doing? Get around there. Beautiful. And the cleave hit and killed as well. I love that. Ah, the cleave missed. That's all right. Probably not going to be able to help in either of those. No.
Another wave is coming. Prepare for battle.
Never seem to be facing the right way at the end of battle. Another crit.
Regroup.
Damn it. There's a long sword in the grass right near my feet.
But if we don't hold the next wave off, the whole village could be overrun.
Let's go. If we hurry, we can stop them before they find the children.
But this interaction, if I go and help the house, there's no time for me to go and pick up the longsword before I go in. I'm going to go into the house, but
We could use your...
I'll explain in a minute why I prefer the longsword. Okay, so she's going to send the dogs with us. And the kids are barricaded in a room. I really want to get in here and hit these dwarves as quickly as possible. I want the grey dwarves as much as possible to focus on me, because otherwise they end up killing all the dogs. Even though that's sort of the point. I mean, the dogs are sort of there to be meat shields for you, but I don't like the doggies dying. And it looks like we've saved all of them. I think there was only 3 dogs. They're not doing much at the moment. They should be helping, but anyway. One of them got injured. Alrighty, let's go and tell the kids that they're rescued. There is a couple of places here I could loot, but I said I'm not going to. Is there any... We heard them screaming for mercy as they died. Is there any blood? Can we see? Sure, the dog's probably feeding on the bodies right now. The writing here is just so beautiful. And yay! The hounds will have bones for months. So the kids are happy that the dogs have helped basically eat the grey dwarves that attacked. This isn't some kind of game. Be quiet. Oh, shut your mouth. We could have screamed ourselves hoarse waiting for you to show up, you dumb ox. We got to go. And there we go. So the dogs are all right. There's no need to talk to Retta, I don't think. Let's just triple check to be sure. Yeah, just thanking us for arriving in time. So there is the desk there. It has some stuff in it. I'm not going to loot it. And then in this little side room here, there is a chest that you can either pick the lock or break into. I would have to break into. I'm not going to do that either. I should have rested before I left because Bevel needs to be healed, but we should be all right. Let's get into the fight. Come on, Bevel, hurry up. I'll keep an eye on Bevel and I'll lay hands on him if I have to. An uninjured Grey Dwarf, that's what we want. I could make a run over there for those. Actually, let's quickly do that. It's sort of terrible to be doing that, but because I should be helping with the battle.
Thank the gods that's over.
Not yet, it's not.
Much blood has been lost tonight. Let us make the enemy pay in kind.
Let's swap out for a longsword. Now, I'll say before the reason why I want the longsword rather than the flail. Let's have a look at both of them. I can't look at them both at once. The flail's doing 1d8 of damage, that's fine. But its critical base threat is ×2. Okay, and it's doing bludgeoning damage. Now, bludgeoning damage is not bad. It's actually quite good. I should probably keep the flail as a backup weapon if I'm being honest. Or keep something like that. But if we have a look at the longsword, it's also doing 1d8. But see how the base critical threat says 19 to 20 ×2? So normally when you roll a 20-sided dice to hit. And if you roll a natural 20, you do a crit. And you multiply the damage ×2. With the longsword, if you roll a 19 or a 20, you now do a crit. So you get crits more often with the longsword than you do with the flail. And that's why I want to be using it over the flail. Also, longsword is... Well, I'm not going to be using a longsword consistently. I'm going to go to a greatsword eventually. But longswords and greatswords are a dime a dozen in the game, so there's going to be more chance that I'm going to be able to find a weapon I can use if I specialize in greatsword. Whereas if I decide, oh, let's specialize in flail. No.
That is the last of them. For now, gather the wounded and the dying.
There may not actually be any enchanted flails in the game. If they are, they're only going to be just a standard like +1 or +2. They're not going to have any special abilities.
Thank the gods we were able to hold them at the farm. How many did we lose?
Ian, Vera, Pearson.
What were those things, anyhow? Never seen anything quite like them.
They're called bladelings. Their kind is rarely seen in our realm. They dwell in a place beyond.
Well then, what in the nine hells are they doing here?
Lathander doesn't illuminate all mysteries for me. We must rely on our own wit and resources.
One of those dwarves mentioned they were searching for something. Does anybody know what it was?
Boy, come over here. I see you're...
Bladelings, I believe, are a type of Githyanki. If you've played Baldur's Gate 3, you know who the Gith are. The Gith were almost... I don't think they were actually technically introduced in this game, but this was the first game that you actually saw, to my knowledge anyway, that you saw the Gith as a race. And there's a whole backstory between the Gith races and the Mind Flayers, the Illithids. Like, the Gith were slaves of them, and then they broke away. And I think it was around this time that they broke away, so that by the time of Baldur's Gate 5, the Gith have broken away, and there's sort of like two groups of Gith now. There's the good Gith and the bad Gith, and they have slightly different names. One's Githyanki and one's Gith something, like Gith Zaki or something like that. I don't know. I'm not an expert on it, but that's a little bit of background.
You're unharmed. Many have not been so fortunate, and others have seen their final night. I understand you lost a friend of yours in the attack. A tragedy. She was a promising young mage, or so I've been told.
The entire attack was a tragedy.
Yes, and to dwell on our losses serves no purpose. There is still much to do. I do not have much time to talk. There are many who are wounded. Now, there is something you must do tonight. Those bladelings were here to find something, and I fear I know what.
What were they looking for?
There is an item, a silver shard. Long ago, I concealed it in the old stones outside of town. I fear it may have drawn these creatures down upon us.
Tell me what I need to do.
The stones outside of town are older and deeper than you may think. In the farthest chamber of these ruins, look for a strong box. Inside is the shard.
Sounds simple enough.
There remains only one thing. You should not go alone. Bevel, I need you to accompany my son to the ruins. This is an important task.
But Georg says the ruins have been overrun by lizardling tribes.
And that is why you must go. Together, two can succeed where one might fail. The cries of the wounded cannot be ignored any longer. Find the shard. Find it and bring it here.
No offense meant, but your father makes the hairs on my neck stand up. Still, if we're going to do this, we should make some haste. It sounds urgent.
I want to talk to some people first.
Along the river is our best route into the swamp. We can take it to the ruins when you're done here.
Okay. The only person I really want to talk to is Thomas, because I want to sell some of this stuff that I've already found.
Some sort of reason, I imagine. I am not some street peddler of minor magics. However, I could always use more coin. Very well.
Alright, I don't want the flail, I don't want the extra long sword. We're going to keep... Actually, let's just sort everything first. We don't want the ale. I don't want the alchemist's fire. We're going to keep the healing kits. I don't want the scrolls. We'll keep the thieves' tools. I don't want the quarterstaff or the club. Or the dagger, the spear, the light sword, the short bow. Or the arrows, the bladeling spike. We don't want that. That's a book about crafting, I think, which doesn't really give us anything, and we don't want the loot. And it sells for quite a good amount. Do you have a greatsword? You do not. Alright, well, we will get one in this next little bit. Let's not hang around too long. I could buy the Ring of Protection. I don't know that I need it for this build, for this character. But let's get it anyway. Alright, let's get out of here. I could have gone for a sword and shield build for this character, so long sword and shield, but I think I want a two-handed sword build instead.
I've come this far into the swamp. There are some twists and turns before we get to the ruins. There's probably more than lizardlings ahead. So, lead on, I guess.
In fact, because I don't have the extra dexterity, a sword and shield build probably would be the better the better build. And it's more traditionally you think of when you think of a paladin, you think of them running into battle with sword and shield. But I'm going to go two-handed sword. Just for that little bit of extra damage. Random number gods are not with me today. Not hitting very often. Critical hit, very nice. Oh, that was a natural 20. Very good. Damn it, my cleave missed. And the level. Wonderful. We finally get to add to our ability scores. So charisma it is. Heal. Law. And let's do bevel. Not that it really matters. Do whatever it recommends, which is strength. Oh, I didn't pick any. Oh, well, I didn't pick any new skills for him, but that's okay. No. Oh, we didn't get the chest. Gauntlets and the malachite. I'm pretty sure we... Yeah, gloves of concentration. Very good. As I said earlier in the last episode, I don't need concentration for this build, but the gloves of concentration would be useful for the druid or the sorceress that can be in the party later on. So we're going to keep them, we're not going to sell them. Damn it, they dazed Bevel. Oh, critical hit on the cleave. Very nice. Didn't kill it. Did it? Yes, it did. I just paused before it gave the update in the log. That cleave hit but didn't kill. Oop, no. All right. Let's rest. Actually, the more I think about it, I'm starting to think more and more that maybe I do want to go sword and shield for this build. It just seems so right for a paladin. And I'm thinking there's probably going to be even, like, in any of these sorts of games, there's always, you know, and you can probably look on wikis and find the information. There's always, like, there's more long swords probably than anything else when you look at the magical weapons that are available. It's more than likely in most of these sorts of games, there'll be more long swords than anything else, and the things with the best enchantments on them will probably be long swords. You might find some games that pick other weapons as the really, really good weapons, but because it is just so ubiquitous, it really feels like it's the weapon of choice that most people go with. Now, technically, there are better weapons if you're talking about, like, critical damage and things like that. Like, bastard swords are better, but they're considered an exotic weapon. Falchions, I think, are better, but again, they're considered an exotic weapon. I should have used my Blessed of Wakeen to try and give me a better better spell resistance and stuff like that. As soon as we kill this guy, I think I'm going to turn that on before we go and attack the rest of this group. And I'm going to try and remember to keep it on. It's not showing up here, though. It's my persistent aura. What is that persistent aura doing? Is that the divine grace? No, aura of courage. I add my charisma bonus to all saving throws. I don't think... Oh, I think it's casting it on the lizardling. No, it is casting it on. It's not actually working. I have used it before and it worked. It's not giving me the bonus. Oh, well, not going to worry about it now. We need to kill the rest of these guys. There's the first of the great swords that I could be using. Considering that I am wanting to use a longsword, though, I am going to swap longswords with bevel, because I actually like the look of this longsword better than bevel's. Just in general, better than the one I had. I like Bevel's longsword better. I could give Bevel a two-handed sword, but he actually has proficiency with the longsword. He already has weapon-focused longsword, so he is, and power critical. So he is actually better with the longsword than he is with the two-handed sword. So I'm not going to give him the great sword. I'm going to keep him using a longsword. And it doesn't matter whether he uses the sword he originally had or the one I've given him. It's just a longsword. It's just purely cosmetic, the reason I swapped. And it's purely because the longsword that Bevel has, the hilt on it actually looks like a proper hilt, whereas the one on the sword that he's got is too fantastic. It's got like two lots of stuff, and it's very, yeah, you wouldn't use anything like that in real life. It'd get you killed. Come on, Bevel, keep up. There we go. There's a good chap. Actually, no. This is probably not the best idea, but I want to move to right... No. Yeah. I want to move... Oh, no. I was trying to move so that I was in between these two guys, so that if I got... If I got the chance to cleave, I'd be able to, because when I was back in the other position, I was too far away to be able to cleave the other one. Wonderful. Okay, we've got a crate over here with some scale mail. I'm already wearing scale mail, so we're only just going to sell that later. It's not worth keeping at this point. I mean, ultimately, it is armor that Eleni the Druid could wear. But Kelgar the Dwarf is already wearing chain mail, which is as good as the scale. So there's no sense carrying that with us. And we'd have to be carrying the scale mail for quite a while to use it for Eleni. So instead, we will sell it, and we'll just, if we need to buy... Actually, a breastplate is better for Eleni anyway in the long run, but if we were carrying something with us, that would, you know, we wouldn't have to buy anything, but we'd have to carry it for so long, I don't feel like it's useful. Go. Is there another? No, I thought there was. Guess not. Well, there was. I mean, Bevel came up here and killed that guy, but I thought there was two up here, but one of them must have come down. We need to rest again. I mean, I could use potions and lay on hands and everything, but it's not urgent at this point, and we can rest quite simply, so we shall. Ooh. Camel.
Bring it to me.
Actually, you may notice, if you're paying particular close attention, that Bevel's actually using his longsword in two hands. That was a rule that was brought in I think 3.5 D&D, where you could, a one-handed weapon could be wielded in two hands, and all it does is give a slight bonus to damage, I think. I think it gives a +1 to damage. Yeah, he's got a +2 to strength. So, for example, if I... do I have another shield? No, I don't. If I was to take this shield... actually, you'll be able to see it on my character. So, 1d8 +2. If I take the shield off, it becomes 1d8 +3, and that's because I'm essentially using it two-handed to get a little bit of extra damage out of it, even though it's only a one-handed sword. So if you're curious, that's what Bevel's doing. And strangely, there's no way to just like fence with it one-handed. Not that you would want to. The +1 damage is kind of useful. You would probably want to use it. But yeah, there's no way around it. Right. Short bow there. Slow down, Bevel. Oh, that's the second great swordsman. And I'm encumbered. He's going to have dropped a great sword as well. Let's give a couple of these. Let's give all of them to Bevel. We'll get them back in a little bit. All right. Rest to make sure we've got all of our health. Now, the dialogue options that we take here, being a paladin, I think we might be able to get through this without fighting.
Oh, great spirits of the stone tomb, please hear our plea. The other lizardling tribes take our territory. They wage war. And before we fight them for our ancestral hatching grounds, we ask for your blessings.
There certainly are an awful lot of them. Maybe this wasn't such a good idea.
A warm blood. Here, your very presence offends the stone god.
I'm going to try the diplomacy option. Let's see what happens. When this land was ours, my tribe left something here.
This gives you the right to intrude on our lands and disturb our most holy of rituals.
It's needed to save my tribe, something you should be able to understand.
What do you propose then, warm blood?
Let me save my tribe, and perhaps one day we can return the favor.
A favor for a favor, eh? We may have need of you. We will let you do this thing. Do what you have come here to do. We will leave the Warmbloods in peace, my followers.
And they leave without a fight. Now, sure, I would have got a little bit more than the 100 XP I got for getting through that. At least I think I would have got more than 100 XP. And I know I get a +1 magical dagger from the shaman. But it doesn't matter. I did it the good way. I did it the just way. I did it the paladin way.
We were risking life and limb for that? None of this makes any sense. Dagon can do his own blasted quest from now on. When you're done searching around, let's get out of here.
Let's go.
have returned. And you have brought the shard.
That's all you can say? I almost died out there.
If I did not believe you could handle the task, I would have sent another.
Yeah, well, you weren't out there in the swamp getting attacked by lizard folk.
No, I was here attending the wounded, Bevel. Now find Marion and do the same.
I don't see how you put up with him.
Now, for the shard. Let me see it.
I would like. There's all these different options you can do there. Some of them saying you shouldn't treat Bevel that way. Yeah, I know you shouldn't treat Bevel that way. I want to get on with this, so let's retrieve the shard.
I need you to go to the city of Neverwinter. Find my half-brother Duncan, retrieve the second shard, and take it to a mage you both can trust. Duncan owns an inn in the docks district of the city, the Sunken Flagon. Not the most reputable place, but safe enough.
How do I get to Neverwinter?
Head to the small port town of Highcliff when you are free of the swamp. There, seek passage on a ship to Neverwinter. The beast that attacked us will leave West Harbor alone once they realize their quarry has fled. If all goes well, you should be in Neverwinter before they find your trail. Say your farewells. Your boots may travel many roads before you return. I let some of the others know you are leaving, but not the why of it.
I'll talk to them first.
Return when you are ready to leave, and we will speak of the path you must take.
You've already really told me, but that's fine. Okay. I'll come back to Bevel in a sec. Where's Thomas? Normally I can sell stuff to Thomas here. He must be somewhere else in the village. I'm going to have to go look for him. The problem is I'm going to be carrying too much. So if I talk to each of these guys and ask if they can help, he gives you a cure moderate wounds potion. Retta doesn't give you anything, but she does tell you about her son. Lorne, who is actually one of the bad guys. She doesn't know what's happened to him, though. I'll let her know if I find anything. Well, in the end, I won't spoil it, but things don't go well for him. Actually, there's nothing this guy can do except heal me, and I don't really need him to do that. I'll say it anyway, though, so I don't have to rest. There we go. You're going to give me a shield.
So, Dave, can you at least tell me why you're going? I trust your judgment. It won't be easy. You might want to ask around the village. I really ought... Here.
Okay, so he gives me this light shield, which is a light shield +1, which is better than what I've got. So that's cool. Where the hell is Thomas? The problem is, wherever Thomas is, I'm going to have to come back to him, because I can't carry all the stuff that's on Bevel.
I had high, not that I go if you must, but mystery. When the girl died a meaningless death.
Okay, is there anything you can do to help me?
With the journey, you say? As functional as the famous harborman.
I'll try diplomacy. It probably won't work. Okay, it did.
But don't bother asking for more. I've already lost an... Oh, very...
He gave me a potion of bark skin, which I don't want. I don't want that shield now that I've got the +1. So let's get rid of that and that. This is the Golden Chalice of Lathander. This also... The light, it has unlimited use, and then there's mass cure serious wounds. So that is a useful spell. I think I'm going to sell the rest of that pork jerky, to be honest. I don't want all of these bows or I can't sell those arrows. Magic weapon I could use myself and that cure light wounds, so I might keep them. As I said, I don't want the scale mail. I can sell those bolts. I can't sell those bullets. Those are the gloves of concentration. I might just keep them on me, and the rest of the stuff I want to keep. All right. Doesn't have anything that I want. I've already got a long sword. I don't want any more potions for the time being. I think we're okay. I already got the ring of protection +1. Okay, let's go back and talk to Breville and get the... Bevel, not Breville. Breville is a sandwich maker. Toasted sandwich press thingy that I had when I was growing up.
So,
Don't know if they still
Father
make
sent you
them.
off to Neverwinter. I'm hoping that you'll be back soon enough after you reach the city. Not that I'm hopefully, as a member of the militia, I've got some band. You can also have my share of the loot that we found. You wish I could go with you. Good luck.
Okay. There's all the great swords and the long sword. Wonderful. Let's go and sell them. I could... See, one of the reasons why I was thinking about going two-handed sword for this build is Kelgar, the other fighter in the party, is going to be Dwarven War Axe and Shield, because that's the best weapon for him to use. It has a better crit range. Excuse me. And so he's going to be using a shield. And then if I get the other paladin in my party for a while, he uses Warhammer and shield. And so I wanted to have someone who didn't use a shield. But I don't know. Still thinking about it. I don't have to make a choice just yet. Let's sell these. Let's put these down on the bar so I don't forget that I've got them. Oh, the silver shard gives me a health bonus. Gives me +10 hit points, which is very nice. Right. I'm going to come back and talk to Dagon, and then we're done. And that'll be perfect timing because it's about an hour. That'll be it for this episode.
Have you said your farewells?
Sure have.
To get to Neverwinter, take the road that borders the Starling Farm out of town. It is the only road through the Mare of Deadmen, so following it will be easy. The road itself has not been patrolled for some time, and few travel it. Move quickly, and you may be able to avoid the many beasts of the Mare.
Doesn't sound too safe.
I suspect you will see your share of battle before you reach Neverwinter. Stray from the road, and the danger is even greater. I've made it known that you travel directly for the city, in the hopes that the enemy will pursue you along the high road. Instead, you will head to the small port town of Highcliff once you are clear of the swamp. From there, you will seek passage on a ship to Neverwinter.
You sure there'll be a ship available?
There is a ship named the Double Eagle that will await you in Highcliff. Her captain, Flynn by name, is a trusted friend of mine and will ferry you safely to the city. Your trip to Neverwinter will be quicker by water, and my attempt at misdirection may allow you to reach Highcliff before the enemy becomes aware of your true route. I have nothing more to say. It is time for you to go, my son. Each moment you remain here brings greater risk to the village.
Rightio then. And with that, we're going to leave it here for this episode. Thank you very much for joining me. I hope you have enjoyed it, and I will see you for the next one. Bye now.